1 in 8. That's how many people have worked at McDonald's and where some have continued their career. Where graduates of McDonald's Career Online High School program are now role models leading the next generation. Where aunties, uncles, cousins, and communities learn skills they can use in every aspect of life.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
1 in 8 have worked at McDonald's, and where you start stays with you.
Rolling.
Yeah.
Time the fuck out.
For the first time, I don't have to hear that shit.
Godson
I'm
shirt.
so
That is
glad.
not nice. Oh,
God's
God.
blood. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Y'all ruin everything, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all ruin
You know what
everything.
time it is.
And is that an official shirt? You get it outside.
Nah,
Kaz makes it
He got it
official.
outside the stage.
I printed it, did a Photoshop myself. Nah, this guy who runs like a Knicks fan page like sent me a bunch of the shirts. He does like this Instagram thing where like they do. Do you see it on IG when they have like after the games they like fucking just whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, this is so good. You got to make shirts into them, and he did. So I was like, all right. And he sent me a bunch, and I love him.
Made my looks. Brun Mike. I can close.
Book of Dimes.
That's horrible.
It's made my.
That is horrible.
Fuck
And
you,
you're disgracing the God MC? Seriously?
Yo, what is this bootleg shirt you
I'm surprised you're not more offended, Rosie.
Yo.
I'm offended. That's why I looked at it and said, that's
I
not
love
Nas. God's what?
I love it, yo.
Oh,
y'all
God.
Y'all can hate all you want.
Y'all not
You
making it the
love
first
the
round.
weirdest shit.
Yo, do we get to talk about like blog era fashion? Because yo,
Yes.
the amount of like free shirts that you would get if you were like anybody
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And then we have to wear it.
You
For at
have
least-
to,
Have to.
have to wear
Have to
it.
wear it.
For at least 2 years of my life, my entire wardrobe was just merch. Just like
That was the
free shirts.
easiest way to fucking
Your
like
entire
come up.
wardrobe is
It's like they
still
just.
merch.
Still merch.
I mean, it clearly is still merch. Like,
Clearly. But I actually like this shirt, okay? Like, I would have got it.
What do you
if
like
was
about
sent to
it?
me.
I forgot.
It's clever. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Nas fan. This is.
Are you? Because if you were, you'd be very offended.
I'm not offended at all. Jalen Brunson has brought me more happiness in my life than Nas ever did.
That's fucked up.
Ever.
That's fucked up.
I just want you
What?
guys to know also that's the wrong album for the titles.
It doesn't matter.
All right, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Wait, is
You
it?
know what
One mic was not on God's side. It was on Stillmatic.
Yeah, dummy.
Just saying, do it right.
Yeah, fix the shirt on your
Just
next
saying.
run.
If you're
Damn,
gonna put
she
song
got
titles,
you
make
on
sure
that.
it's right.
She got you on that.
Just
Yo,
saying.
Kaz is gonna run the
know what?
Kinkos in like 10 minutes.
Enough talking about my shirt earlier. Let's start the goddamn
What's
show.
poppin', people? Welcome back to another episode of Say Less with Kaz,
Yo.
Low Key,
Hey.
and Rosie,
Hey, Rosie.
and my two favorite Jews.
Hey, damn, Jake.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I was about to say like Terrence and Phillip, but
They're Canadian, not Jewish.
I remembered before I said it.
Well,
I
they
was
could be Canadian Jews. I don't know.
I mean, you know, they strike me like Canadian Jews.
Maybe.
All right.
Jeff and Eric Rosenthal.
The last name I still don't know how to say.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you guys are here. The Blog Ever podcast
Yeah.
with Other Tone.
That's right.
Executive produced by the one and only Pharrell Williams and
Yeah.
yourself. Finally coming. Obviously, anybody who listens to this show, anybody who's followed Lowe's career, anybody who's had a high-speed internet connection and was a hip-hop fan.
Does it have
in
to
the
be high
past.
speed?
That's it.
No, take that 33.4.
Fair. Yeah. You was dialing it up?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Listen, we was not making money.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, my goodness. Before we get into Jeff and Eric, obviously, youtube.com/Kazeem. Make sure you subscribe. Just type in sales for Kaz, Loki, and Rosie on any of your podcast platforms. It will pop right up. And follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and TikTok, all the good stuff. And yeah, man, we got the good brothers, Jeff and Eric here. You guys are in the midst of your media tour.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's weird. It's weird to hear that on the other side.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. You guys are the second ones.
No, man, you guys guys announced the launch of the Blogger Pod at South by Southwest this year. Good Man Currency was on the panel with you guys.
Yep.
A bunch of other incredible luminaries in the music business.
SK Dimples.
Yes. Our good friend Low Key is featured prominently in the podcast as well.
Oh no, we edited most of it out. It's a lot of
Low, and we've known this forever. Low's like sense of humor.
Yes.
Low's like magnetism. Everything you know about Low and more is gonna be a shining fucking light on this podcast. I promise you that.
I got to listen to the.
Did he get angry?
Yes. Yes. Low got angry.
that's how he leads
But
off.
Low was also like, so this is during pandemic, right?
Okay.
So this is 3 years in the making, but during the pandemic, you're just isolating in your own home.
Right.
So all we did was like call people, right? And that was actually like a good part to this because it's like, how are you going to get access to like everyone in the blog era, right? So we would call Low and then we get like a good hour and then we'd be like, yo, could call you back to talk about this. And he was like, yeah, what am I doing?
Right.
It's like I wasn't doing shit. Like I'm fucking smoking hookah, drinking Jameson, having conversations with them. Like I heard a clip earlier today, and it kind of touched my heart a little bit. So it's just like the
Talking
boy,
about your mom?
the boy in the basement story. So I'll let them hear. But
Okay.
But yeah, like I relived a lot of memories speaking with you guys for numerous conversations and just the rollout of how y'all are reintroducing us to a different set of eyes and ears that have no idea what SK gave to the game or what Shake and Mech gave to the game or, Andrew Barber, Ill Roots, fucking the list goes on and on. Exclusive Zone, Miss Info.
The Jazz One.
Hoff on Smash. It just goes down so many different paths and so many different lanes that you guys, I feel like, are going to illustrate that it's going to feel like we were there again, like we're reliving it again. That's how great I think this story is about to be told.
Okay, so 3 years is a long time.
Yes.
Kaz, we've been working on this forever. 3 years is a long time to make sure you get it right. So like it was a lot of thinking. It was a lot of rethinking. It was a lot of throwing stuff out. You guys came over to our crib. You saw we had this giant
6 foot by 4 foot bulletin board.
Yes.
With it
Every
was like,
episode, every description.
Can I ask a question? I don't think I've ever asked you guys this.
yeah. Which one's Jeff and which one's Eric? I'm Jeff.
Terrence and Philip. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I never know who's writing to me from their Instagram. And that's my first question before I respond because he's more of a smart ass than this one. So I'm like, I want to be nice to Eric.
I'm like, is that for Jeff?
I want to be nice to Eric, but fuck Jeff. No, I have a serious question. I never asked you guys this. How insecure or like how often do you go back when you do something like to like make sure it's perfect? Are you perfectionist or like?
Yeah.
Because some people just throw shit out and then they get into like they're like, damn, I shouldn't have done it like that.
Yeah, I think that like even today, I said to Eric, I was like, ooh, like what if we include this? And Eric's like, no, like we are done with this. Yeah. There will be hopefully a second season, and like you can address certain things that might have not been part of the first season, but like you can't please everybody, and you just have to sort of understand that the vision that you set out to create is like the correct one.
Do you remember when Kanye came out with Life of Pablo and then there was like a ever evolving version that he would
I'm gonna fix wolves.
Yeah. That's Jeff. Jeff's just like more.
But
He's the one that goes back. You're the one that's like, I think it's cool.
It depends. I mean, like Eric is very on the audio side. On the actual like production of it, Eric will go back and go back and go back. I don't really care so much about that, about the audio sanctity of
I care about the content.
I care about the actual content. I'm like, ooh, but I am a people pleaser, and that's like, that is the issue that's underlying all.
I
this.
think
Ladies?
Yeah.
I think it's
You come first.
Hey, yo, pun intended.
Yeah. Oh my Rosie.
I think as long as
crazy.
it's close to perfection for y'all.
Yeah.
That's what I think the end goal.
Yeah.
As long as we got it to the closest point we could ever get it.
Yeah.
I think a good percentage of the people will be satisfied as they should.
Lo, when we called you for the first time and told you about this 3 years ago, we were like, look, we want to do it before someone from the outside does it. Somebody like Vice or whatever.
And you know how many people, not to cut you off, In that 3-year span, how many people came to me and said, yo, somebody should do a blog era documentary. Somebody should do a blog era show. And it was clamoring me not to say, somebody beat y'all to the punch already.
Yeah.
Because I knew y'all were working. I'm like, yo, bro, y'all don't have shit on what they're about to produce.
Like, such an original idea.
Yeah, but it's like, I
put
get
the
it.
battery in their back.
But I get it. Like, during that time, we had a lot to think about.
Oh, my God.
We were thinking about anything under the sun. So why not do this? This is the perfect time to do it. Y'all had 3 years to get this shit right.
Man.
Yeah. I also like don't recommend the process that we went through to anybody else. Like I don't think that like it would work. Like it's to spend 3 years on something with no partner immediately. Like we did it independently and then, you know, we sold or we partnered up later. You know, like and so that's a very scary thing, you know, to go out there just like on your own on a limb.
But can't you compare that to making an album without a record label?
Yeah.
I know that's scary as fuck too.
Yeah.
Right.
So everything that we would do was just like you do it out of the passion.
Yeah.
And then you figure out the business later. Now, I'm not going to say that that's a perfect situation.
No, it's not.
Look, like we're not, you know, out here living in like $1 million homes or anything. You know, we're still.
Oh, you have a nice place.
No.
Yeah.
Place is nice.
Yeah, the issue was that it was plural. Yeah. Sorry, we have one nice.
No, the place is nice.
$1 million
there's a nice
home.
place, and it's like you know, it's in a nice area. So like, let's pat yourself on the back just a little bit.
Yeah.
I know the area, so I already know it's nice.
It's swanky.
$27 sandwiches on every corner.
I think what makes you guys so special is you aren't just like curating this thing. Like we said before the mics turned on, you guys are going to be one of the first people to really anthologize a very important time in music.
I like that word.
Yeah.
$5
$5.
But you guys, you know, you aren't new to this. You guys have been creating content since I was in college. I'll tell the story a million times. The first time I met Jeff and Eric, I legitimately fanned out. I was like, oh shit, the Itsthereal guys are here. You know what I'm saying? Well, Drake was at our school in Purchase College. And I want to say, was it 2009?
Yeah.
The Cool Kids. And my God, what a freaking day. I think that was the first day I met like
pretty
Elliot
forward
Wilson,
thinking
too.
by the guy who booked that.
Pretty forward thinking. I mean, the guy had a pretty decent musical taste back then. Not so much anymore. But
Wait, we're not going to talk about the second time we met?
the second time.
The second time we met, Kaz again fanned out and goes, I can't believe you remember who I am.
I was like, no, you don't understand, man. Because like, listen, I'm a blog era, like I'm a product of the blog era, right? Like, well, I worked at the Source magazine around the time the blog era was sort of popping off, and you know, I just when working there, obviously, they weren't necessarily on the pulse of what was happening, right? But the internet and blogs and music, that was the only way I could even get in.
Yeah.
So seeing you guys like being at events that I'd helped put together or just being around, like I knew I was in the right place. Because at the time you guys were creating these incredible videos like with like Cam and like Bun B and just
I mean, Lo was in videos.
Lo was in a bunch of those videos. So I guess the question I want to ask is going from being content creators almost like
I feel like I'm on a press run with you guys.
Yeah.
like going from
Is this question for Lo?
I'm like, who are you talking to?
But just going from content creators that were more like comedic and creating that sort of content to something that is really near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. You're pretty much telling a lot of folks legacies right now. What's sort of the difference between going from that to this?
Well, I think that the thing that comes in the middle is the A Waste of Time podcast that we had, which really like solidified us as like, oh, these guys are not just making jokes. These guys are doing this thing that has like a deeper meaning and like, you know, telling people's life stories. But yeah, then I think that those 5 years of doing that podcast and having everybody from Cardi B to Rick Ross or whoever come over to our apartment and tell, you know, everything, I think that this was the natural next step. But also we still have Two Jews and Two Black Dudes, our other podcast with the Locks. And like, you know, there's always that comedic side to things, but like, this is just not that thing.
And I think that like, we're two guys who we're from Westchester. We're not from New York City, right? We there was no like easy way into like this genre that we love, this culture that we like aspired to be a part of. It was like we loved it from afar, you know? And we're 30 minutes outside. we're loving it. We're reading XXL magazine. We're listening to Hot 97. We're watching BET and MTV, and we're just, trying to breathe this as much as we can. Our way in was our voice.
Yeah.
So our videos weren't going to be like anything else you were seeing on the blogs. Like the reason you guys posted us is because it wasn't the same thing that everyone else was doing. So that continued through everything that we've done.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to do, okay, there's going to be a podcast out there. Well, we want to do something a little different, We got tired of fighting over the same like artist doing a press run.
Right.
So we're like, well, are we really going to try to get Mac Miller ahead of Elliot?
Yeah.
You know, and we're like, why don't we, well,
Yeah. Real cutthroat guys.
We did.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but like we heard Mac told us, he's like, oh yeah, Rap Radar's gonna put my episode out on Monday. We're like, well, we're putting ours out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So but that was the name of the game. But then we switched it up to where we're like, listen, we love this business, warts and all, the music business. So like, why don't we dive into the A&Rs and the publicists and the executives that no one hears from, and let's go that route.
Look at like when hip hop is a very, very protected, sacred culture, right? And we look to certain individuals to tell certain stories. And you're telling a very prominent story, just in our, age bracket, career bracket, whatever. Is there pushback because you weren't, you heard that new, you weren't a Nah Right, you weren't an On Smash, like telling that story, you weren't a Wiz Khalifa, like is there pushback from people saying like, yo, why are they telling it?
There's pushback
for sure.
I think because we're white.
I mean, well, I didn't want to say it without,
but that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. And we get it. And by the way, this is a very black story. Okay, but it was super important to us that we partner with Steve Carless, that we partner with Pharrell Williams, that we partner with Tim Hotep, right? Like we wanted to have people who like this. If we're gonna tell a black story, the majority of the bloggers out there were young black men and women who, achieved the American dream and then got it snatched out from under them. And if that's not the whole like American story, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that we weren't, look, we understand what we look like, what we sound like, what we present as. Like we're not trying to be anything we're not. Agents. but we wanted to make sure that we were telling the story that we know intimately. We were there, right? The right way. Yeah. And so like, a big test of this was when we played the first 3 episodes for SK, who plays a major part in this. He's the sun to our universe, right? NotRight.com. And a lot of people out there might not know Not Right. It's crazy. There's no Wikipedia entry.
It's wild.
There's no
man.
NotRight.com.
Like, it's almost heartbreaking to a sense. It's like there's so many people.
But he hit us and he was like, guys.
This is why it's not heartbreaking, because now the world is gonna know.
Yeah.
In a very different, various form of who this man really was. Not just a man behind the keyboard, but this kid from Yonkers who really breathed, slept, cried, died for hip hop. And that's what I want.
I don't want to be hyperbolic. It wasn't just stealing music. It wasn't just debuting music. It wasn't just whatever anyone thinks blogging was. It wasn't these guys and girls behind keyboards looking at a beige monitor in the dark, like in their basement. Some of them were in the basement, but but it's people who like wanted to contribute to something and wanted to make something, and then the money came later.
Right.
Like that's the craziest part of all this. This was for free. When we were making videos for free, when you were like staying up late, you had a job.
Listen, I would wake up around 12, maybe eat some lunch, go to work from 3 to 11. From 11 at night to about 4 to 5 in the morning.
Sheesh.
Typing away. Just looking for shit. I'm on forums, talking to like just making connections, getting music, getting exclusives. Like, and I'm doing that every fucking day. And my mom's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And my dad would come down because he would work out in the basement and I'd still be up. And he'd just be like, yo, what? You're on that computer.
You're a college graduate.
Yeah.
I'm a college graduate. Like, I mean, but that's normal. Like, yeah, you graduate college, go home and figure it out.
Yeah.
And she was like, yo, listen, bro, like, I understand you doing this computer shit, but you need to get a job. Like that's how it started. Yeah. That's how it literally started. Cause I was like, I went home, I graduated, and I was just like, man, I don't want to. My mom wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. I'm like, bro, like I'm not going back to school.
Right.
So she was like, all right, well, if you don't figure it out, you're going to Baltimore to move with your uncle, her brother.
Wow.
Will Smith. They Fresh Prince you.
She was like, yo, you not staying in this house without a job.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fuck, I got to come up with something. I hit my guy, Thomas McLeod. Him, he lived in D.C., went to American University. Same dude I was talking about when I was making the beats and shit.
Yep.
Where he was a technical wizard. So I thought of this idea. I'm like, yo, what do you say when you first hear a song? Yo, Kaz, you heard that new Hove? I was like, yo, take care of the back end, create the site, I'll do the content. And that was it. That was literally it. But I was doing that as I was working a job. I almost got fired from my job because I'm uploading music from the front desk. I'm the front desk supervisor, and I'm logging in and you heard that uploading a new Beanie Siegel record.
Yeah.
While guess is in my face.
Because you loved it.
I didn't give a fuck.
That's right.
I just needed a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I did the bare minimum to keep that paycheck.
Yeah.
But I put every piece of effort into You Heard That New. And then Kim Osorio called me in 2008 and said, bring that to BT.
Yo, it's the same story that we have. It's the same story that like Cole has and Wiz has and Nicki. Like people loved it.
Yeah.
It wasn't about like let me get the quick money.
Yeah.
It was like let me build something that like I'm passionate about.
It's like I don't even think people even knew there was money to be made in it.
No,
Right?
definitely not.
Nigga, we did it.
Yeah.
We didn't. We were just like, yo, okay, this is fun.
But so when you're at that point, and you guys, obviously the content creators there, what's keeping you going, right? Is it like the dopamine of like seeing like the traffic go up? Is it like hearing your tag on a song? Is it seeing your video hits get more than an interview? Like,
I remember
what was it?
Eric and I went to SOBs.
Okay.
This was I think like 2008.
8 or maybe 7.
Actually, no. 2007 because so Wale performs with Daniel Merriweather, Mark Ronson did like a thing.
Wow, okay.
And so it was a CMJ event. And this is like we had moved into the city. This was like a month after we moved in, 2007. And we go to SOBs and we're the last ones into the build. Like it is just, it's so packed. It's like when Drake performed like 2 years later, it was like that sort of like energy.
Okay.
We walk in and we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that like we're living in the city. This is amazing. And out of the crowd comes DJ Green Lantern and just stops in front of us and goes, what you're doing is important for hip hop. Don't stop. And then he keeps moving and we're just like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Like, where did this man come from?
That little thing, that gave us life for like months.
Yeah.
You understand?
But like Eric and I lived 100 blocks from there. We walked all the way home, just like looking up like this. Like it's that sort of thing.
And you know what?
This?
It was in October.
fall, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Okay.
She thought it was wintertime?
Oh no! I have to ask.
By the way, I still would in the
Yo,
winter.
I would too.
when we couldn't afford like train like fare, we would walk.
You never hopped the turnstile?
No, I know. One time for a photo shoot. No, but like we would go to events and just for the food and drinks, right?
Yeah.
Like we would go because like our friends were there. Like we moved to the city and now we're like within people who are like our age and ambitious like us, right? And if we can see all you guys, like we would see all you guys all the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, you're doing all right still. We're doing all right still. And you're doing all right. And you're doing all right. And it was like, we're not alone in this thing.
There was like a communal sort of like, we would like mob out together.
Yeah.
To an event. Like I know I would be in the right place if you guys were there, if Mecca and Shake were there, if Lo was there.
If I saw
Mikey
Rosie
Fresh
there,
was
I knew something was about to go down. I was always worried.
Rosie probably bartended
Yes,
like
right.
90%.
She bartended a bunch of the shit that we was at. I know she did.
Yeah.
Rosie was there. You were getting lit.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think I got to watch some clips that you sent me and the trailer, obviously.
Yep.
And
For the behind the scenes making of.
for the behind the scenes making of like the theme songs and just the care that you put into like making sure everybody's theme song for the bloggers kind of match their energy, right?
Yeah, wait, so all right, so explain that process. Like y'all sent it to me last night.
Yep.
It was Lowe's theme, then it
Yeah.
was SK's theme. Like
Yeah.
explain that process of why that, where that ties into how this is.
So we've created a 10-part series. It's really 10 and a half parts, but it's a long, like it's like prestige television,
Okay.
right? So you're getting one you're getting 2 episodes the first week and then 1 episode every week thereafter.
Gotcha.
And so it's a lot of people. We're telling a lot of stories. It could be like Game of Thrones, except you're listening to it.
Okay.
So when you come to that, we're like, well, you don't want to get lost in all these different stories. Like, what if someone, like our mom is listening and she doesn't know who Lo is, or she doesn't know who SK is, and you're hearing like 150 voices talking, including ours too. We're like, let's make this soundtrack something significant. Let's make this a movie, like theater of the mind. And so our best friend Greg Mayo, who's done all of our music, who's rocked with us on all the sketches, who's been our best friend since we were tiny kids.
But also he plays with Bon Jovi and he plays with Hall & Oates, and so like he's not like a schlub. Like
he's one of them ones.
He is. And his father was a legend. And so Greg was like, yeah, like I'm not on the road during the pandemic. Like, let's make this thing happen. And we're like, are you sure you know what you're getting into? And then it's turned into this thing where we take this shit super seriously. So like, you know, if we're telling SK's story and we want to make it like he's that lone cowboy on a horse, well, we're going to make this shit a Western. Okay. And we go crazy with it.
And so Eric and I were watching like a lot of Westerns like throughout all this to be like, okay, like how do they use music, you know, to enhance mood? And so like that's really the way that's the point of all of this, right?
If you guys had a chance, we sent you the clip with DJ Drama getting pinched, right? Him and Ken. Yeah. And like we want that to be like heavy, gut wrenching, like you're watching it on the big screen, right? And when it came to Lo, we were like, Lo's a fun guy. Like what characterizes Lo? How does he fit into the bigger new music cartel? How do we signify Lo when he shows up? And so we were like, let's give him this like swag surfing-esque like bravado, and when he shows up and he starts talking, you're gonna see fireworks, right? So like, and
that's why that's because when I listened to it last night, I'm like, oh, they think they're funny. Because I heard it. I'm like, oh, they think they're funny. But then I laughed. I was like, I'm like, but they know me. Yes. But then I hear like, not the guitar, but I hear like the riffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hear how like you said, like it's fiery, it's energetic, like it's polarizing. Like when I walk through those curtains, like, all right, listen up.
Listen, when we do Hoff's theme, Hoff from On Smash, he has a different walk to him. He has a different like attitude to him, right? He's from Long Island. There's a certain, you know, something about that. So we had to create something that fit him.
Right.
With Minya, she has a different way that she went about like her style. So we wanted everybody to sort of have their own theme so that you didn't get lost in this whole thing. And we wanted it to be, again, dynamic and cinematic and the whole thing.
You know us. That's one of the beautiful things about this. You know us. Like when you have people that try to recreate or retell stories, they're just hitting them with like, you know, an interview. I got your number from such and such and this, that, and the third. I heard you do this. Yo, can we talk for about 30, 40 minutes? You were out with us.
Yeah.
Arguing with us.
Yeah.
In the crib with us. Dinners with us.
I didn't argue. Well, I guess that me even saying I didn't argue with you is me arguing with you. Yeah.
But it's like there's a piece of us that you have that a lot of people that want to be in our culture or this particular moment that don't have access to that moment. I'm not sitting on the phone for 2 hours in the crib talking to you guys about my mom and being a boy in the basement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so, and not to cut you off, but like, that's why we're able to tell the story, right? Because on the first day that we even thought of it, we hit up, I think it was 90 people in the first day. And like 70 people hit us back immediately. Like, it was just like, it was an incredibly high number of texts coming in being like, oh yeah, I'm all about it. So like,
Which probably drove you to like, okay, we have something.
Do this, yeah.
We have something.
And by the way, we thought this was going to take 2 months.
Oh, wow.
You know, it turned into 3 years.
Well, because we didn't have like the biggest ambitions for it, I don't think. Like we weren't like, oh, this is going to be a 10-part series. There's going to be music. There's going to be all this stuff. Like I think that we thought of it as just a fun project to do, but we didn't know that it would be as important as it has, like the weight that it's taken on. Yeah. That comes with the fact that it's taken 3 years.
It's just like the trailer. Like just looking at the trailer and remembering some of these key moments, like how the fuck did you find that?
Yeah.
Like where did you get that from? Because I don't like you got a clip with me and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
I don't have that clip.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
So I'm like, nigga, where did you guys get this shit from? But it's like if you know, man, like Kaz, when you saw it, right?
Yeah.
You see some of those videos and those pictures and those moments. We were there for 95% of that shit.
Again, these are people who like, Low is on Apple Music. Karen Civil's doing her thing, right? Like Mecca's behind the decks. You see like Hoff in the newspaper or whatever, but like, it's not like everybody, certainly not SK, but like, it's not like a lot of these guys and girls.
They weren't the most visible people.
Right.
You know what
So
I mean?
like,
Because they didn't want to be.
Right. So if we're gonna find your stuff, like we gotta do a lot of digging. We gotta make sure this shit is right. And
I mean, you had the time, so.
no,
You had the time. So.
You know, I think what makes this and not just this project interesting, but the blog era itself so interesting is that, you know, it came at a time where it was a convergence of rising artists trying to get noticed, bloggers, writers, whatever, just doing something out of the love. And there was that artist-blogger relationship with a lot of people that we just don't see anymore, right?
Yes.
Like, you know, now there's social media, now there's, you know, whole dedicated floors in record labels dedicated to doing stuff that Low was doing or Mecca was doing or Karen was doing. Talk to me about a little bit of those stories of those artist-blogger connections that really not just, you know, launched the artist careers, but launched a lot of the bloggers' careers as well.
Well, how about this? You don't get Drake without NotRight.com.
Yeah, that's a fact. I remember.
That's number one. If you're Big Crit, you know, your way in is the smoking section.
Yeah.
If you're, you
TDE.
know, TDE,
Two Dope Boys. Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs, smoking section and Fake Shore Drive, you know. Like,
Anybody from Chicago.
Anybody.
And you know, someone like J. Cole, DC to BC or Pardon Me Duke, right?
DC to BC.
But like, you were just down at Dreamville Fest. You were amongst 100,000 people down there.
Yes.
Like, I remember we first met Cole because we sunned him going to his own listening. Outside, he's like passing us a CD, and we're just like, "Oh, what's up?" And he was like, "I love you guys, man." And we're like, "Oh, appreciate you."
Yeah, we're gonna go inside.
keep it moving.
That was at Santos?
No, that was at Poisson Rouge.
Yeah, Le Poisson Rouge, and
The Red Fish.
and so like, you know, all those guys. This is real truth. Bloggers were more popping than a lot of these like artists that are like the biggest thing these days, right? So like the Wizzes, the Currencies, everybody had their own like, you know, favorite place to like seed their songs and like get things popping once they understood that this was a platform that went on. But it did start with $1 in a Dream. You know, you don't get to 100,000 people down in North Carolina for your festival with all of your artists plus the biggest artists in the world on these stages without starting somewhere. And that somewhere was the blogs. And so we do tell a lot of these stories. We tell Wiz's story, Currency's story, Nicki's story, Wale's story, Mac Miller's story, and on because each one represents something. Dom Kennedy. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, by the way, if Low isn't like representing for Dom the way he has, like, does that give Dom the energy to remain independent and to like keep telling his story in a way that no one else does?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if that's particularly true because I know Dom has always been a force to be reckoned with out there to be.
No, for sure. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that like you might have given him that like extra like push to be like.
It might have helped because in my circle or my like the eyes that are like mine don't necessarily know about a Dom, a Pac Div. Shit, maybe even Casey Veggies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's not, I'm not taking precedent. I'm looking at, this is the music that I fucked with. Like, and I'm a New York, New Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a Compton. I'm not Crenshaw. I'm not an LA guy.
To somebody who,
but I'm like, yo, I like these niggas. And a lot of people, whenever, you know, I tweet profusely about Pac and Dom.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, yo, these guys need to be more. Like, y'all should pay more attention to these guys.
Yeah.
So I will take credit in like saying like, yeah, y'all, there's more than the prominent West Coast guys.
Yeah.
There's more than the prominent New York guys. These niggas spit.
Yeah.
And these niggas are still spitting. So I take pride in saying, yo, I waved the Dom Kennedy flag. I'll wave the Pac Div flag to the death. Because I know them niggas are true connoisseurs of hip hop. And I want people to know that, and I hope they know that through this documentary.
Yeah.
And I think, like, too, you think about what a game changer it was because you had people who were just wearing baggy clothes. You had people who were wearing, like, BB Simon belts. You had people,
fashions.
All that. But all of a sudden, on the Lower East Side, someone like Wale, Cool Kids, Mickey Fax, all these people who are suddenly, like, Kid Cudi wearing, like, skinnier jeans, right? They're wearing, like, all over prints.
Yeah.
They're doing, like... they're pairing like high and low, and suddenly like Vashti is the biggest like superstar in the world, right? Because of how she's moving and how she's dressing. And you saw like we got a clip of like her and Cuddy together off of her computer. And it's like, yo, they're so young, they're so just like dynamic and ready to blow the fuck up, right?
Bro, I remember Vashti being like the fucking like, I guess for lack of a better term, like the tastemaker in New York City, where it's like whatever. If we, I was working at a magazine at the time. I was like, oh my God, if we can get Vashti for something, where everything's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, was Tiana Taylor in that bag too?
Yeah. I mean, Tiana Taylor was still sort of an artist, but Vashti just was so like, she was a force, right?
But they're all running around in those.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they're all in the same circles. Yeah.
Like all those skate shops, like Supreme, and then they're doing Sway on Mondays, and you got like Yams and Rocky and Ferg, and like everyone's just running around.
That's all we were doing.
That's it.
We were just running around with our heads cut off.
That's it.
Well, you
Monday
were.
through I was. Like Monday through Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, it was an event. You would see anybody and everybody at every event.
But I want to be clear. When people listen to this story, it's not just like, oh, this came out of nowhere, popped off, and then they became successful. This is the reason why it's a 10-part series. And it's funny because you were talking about like all the people online over the course of the pandemic who were just like, yo, Lo, we need a 3-part documentary. And Jeff and I would see that, and we were like, oh, three parts? Okay.
Yeah, we were like, maybe we'll cut out 7.
Yeah.
Like,
But like, wait till y'all see this shit.
It's important that because you gotta be clear about the climb and what made you all successful people and a successful business, and what all the forces that came through to.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Kaz from Say Less, and Black History Month isn't just about 1 month. It's about the entire year. And throughout this year, join Walmart in amplifying the voices of Black brands and creators, giving them a stage to spotlight their unlimited brilliance. That's Black and Unlimited. What does it mean to be Black and Unlimited? It means being exactly who you are. To be unlimited in your potential, to be unlimited in your creativity, to be unlimited in your imagination, and to be unlimited in your vision. Throughout the year, join Walmart in amplifying the voices of Black brands and creators, giving them a stage to spotlight their unlimited brilliance. That is Black and Unlimited. Visit walmart.com/Black and Unlimited to learn more. Cartier, Rolex, Gucci, Prada, Jordan, Adidas, Bottega Veneta. At eBay, it's real or it's getting the fake out. eBay's team of luxury authenticators are making sure you never get faked over again. Watches inspected by watch aficionados. Sneakers checked by legit sneakerheads. Handbags examined by handbag connoisseurs. And jewelry in the scopes of expert gemologists. These authenticators are leaders in their field, with meticulous eyes making sure your piece arrives as authentic as your style and worthy of your collection. As experts, they know the true difference between a real and a fake. Real carries that rare, distinguished feel, the weight of pure platinum, exquisite scent of Togo leather, and the tight stitching on a pair of dunks, the brilliance of real diamonds. So rest assured, your Rolex moves just like a Rolex should. And that colorway on your Jordan Royals will always be on point. The details inspected, the fakes rejected. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal with eBay's authenticity guarantee. Everyone deserves real. Visit ebay.com for terms. I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Bring it down to a certain place.
In your opinion, like you said in the beginning of the convo, there's no Drake without Nah, right?
Yep.
There's no TDE without Two Dope Boys. There's no Big Crit without Smoking Section.
Yep.
In your opinion, what made like the stars align for that moment where like artists that had a decent buzz became fucking mega stars off of the blogs? Like what was in your opinion, what was the big sort of like connecting tissue to all that made these things sort of even possible?
I think it's a couple things. Because like if you ask SK like how many emails he was opening up, he'll tell you he was opening up like a lot of them. And he would listen to a good majority of the stuff that's sent to him. But certain things just hit him. And then he would just put it up and he would have put like a brief description. And then like it's really all about luck at that point.
Okay.
So I mean like there is no science to it. But I want to just take a step back and be like, the reason that this time is fascinating is because like, so you could argue that every time is fascinating. And so Eric and I had to like really litigate, what about this time is fascinating?
Right.
It's like, well, it's that there's so many forces that are coming together and there's so much change that's happening like between the non-digital and the digital that it just creates this it's almost like a war of the worlds. Like it's almost like Game of Thrones, like these massive forces coming at one another that create it's the end of a ton of old stars who were using street methods to get on. Yeah. And it's the birth of new stars who are using these digital ways and just like skipping the line, basically.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, not to make this about myself, but that's the only reason why I had a career at that point. Like I was at the Source magazine, I was a Legacy magazine. I was young as hell. Everybody over there was going for the Ludacris, T.I., Eminem, Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? Whereas this whole movement was happening online is when I first met Low, when I first met Mech, all these other people. And there was just this whole area of artists and audience that wanted to feel like they were being heard. And I think in a weird way, like the magazines in a way for a while made it seem like, oh, this is legit now. This isn't just an internet thing, right? Like when you made a XXL freshman cover, when you made a Complex, when you made anything.
The 30 for 30 powerless.
Yeah, 30 for 30 30 for 30 powerless. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like you
I remember we had the photo shoot. We all had the photo shoot. Yeah. Remember that shit? Yeah. That meant a lot to us.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I remember going so hard to make sure that went through because I knew how important it was, right? Like we all knew the artists. We were all chasing after art. We were scurrying after the Drakes, the Kendricks, the Wizzes, and all that type of stuff. But it's like, we were trying to move the Source into like this digital era. And it's like, you can't move in it without acknowledging the people who are actually making this shit happen. Yeah. And I'm so proud of that photo shoot because you look on that you look at all those people on there and just see how much they've moved throughout the entire industry. I mean, anybody
it's me, it's
that you're
them.
Even like remotely interested in hip hop, one person and at least 10 of those people have at least
B-Dot, it's Civil, it's like bro,
David Dennis.
Bro, like
both offices.
Yeah. Bro, like, it's
Tim Hotep. Mike Wax
is in it.
Yeah, Mecca
was it, bro. Like that right there. That if you really want to know who was pushing the needle, shaking the table, breaking glasses, look at those people. Yeah. And then we had more after. But we was like, all right, this is what we're doing. Yeah. We competing with each other, throwing shots at each other.
Let me tell you how
we used to go at it.
Yeah. In that meeting, in that interview, by the way, people were going at it. But like
because we all thought we were better than the other.
Yeah, well,
and it was the first time a lot of y'all were in the same room at the same time.
That tension was thick.
Yeah, it was a little thick.
Tension was thick.
I was just happy that I was like, oh my God.
So, by the way, the first time we met Kaz was an intern at the Source. Yeah. The second time we met him, which is like maybe like, I don't know, a month and a half later, Kaz was like an editor. And we were just like, oh, if we keep doing this, like Kaz is going to be editor-in-chief and like own the magazine. I
definitely muscled my way into the editor position too. Oh, because of that Drake concert, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Yeah, like I put the show together at Purchase College, and I was in my intern meeting with like Amy Andrews and Mecca, who's on My Expert Opinion now as well. Yeah. And they were like, "Yo, Drake has a show in Purchase College. Do we have anybody we can send to?" I was like, "I actually put that show together." Mm-hmm. And like the whole room turns around, and looks at me like fucking Fred Flintstone type shit. And then, I went and I got all the footage. I got the interview. Like, I had a like semi-decent relationship with Drake and his people at that time. So it was all working out. And then I came back and they were like, yo, do you got the interview? And I was like, you're not getting it unless I have a full-time job.
Ooh, wow.
And
talk about a trump card.
Yeah, that's really great.
They're like, okay. And then like the creative executive, Don Morris, who helped found XXL, whatever, he was like, yo, are you like holding the magazine hostage right now? And I was like, I guess so. He was like, fucking badass. And then the next day I had an offer.
Outstanding.
So,
I like that.
It's funny, like that, those days, man, like really, I mean, I really wouldn't know where my career, a lot of our lives would be if it wasn't
If
for
it wasn't
those.
for you,
If it wasn't for the Drake concert, where would our careers
where
be?
would everybody be?
What the fuck?
No, I'm saying
Fucking
like
Big Bang.
Those are the simple.
Those are the
moments
moments
that
that
would
we-
happen every day. Like I'm talking about from Monday through Thursday. There was somebody's listening party. There was somebody's event at their blog or magazine or something, and you know it was just a time where, you know, I mean, obviously now we're all about content creators and everybody has to be something or whatever. This was just different. It wasn't just you had to be a content creator. You almost were like, I guess, running your own sort of tastemaker label as well. You know what I mean? Like I knew what I was getting when I signed on to You Heard That New.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting when I logged on to Two Dope Boys.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting when I logged into Nah.
So that's
Right.
what this is,
Yeah.
gatekeepers,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
before the gatekeepers were Hot 97,
Yes.
XXL,
Source.
and yeah, but like and on television it was MTV and BT, right?
Right,
So
right.
that was it. If you like, that's why you got who you got, right? I know Jay, I know DMX, I know 50 Cent because they're on all these covers, because they're playing their videos all the time, because I hear them all the time when Flex plays those records or Clue or whoever. And then all of a sudden, you got guys like SK and Low who are like, I feel like I can be a gatekeeper.
Bro, that's all it was for me, right? I started writing because of Elliot, right?
Yep.
I started my love for mixtapes because of Clue.
Yep.
Right. I wanted to be boisterous and loud like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be a DJ. My pops was like, "Nigga, shut up." Like go to school. You know what I mean? But so then I'm like, I can still hear shit, man. I can still hear it. No, but like the things that I wanted to do. You know, my mom and my dad were very traditional. Like, no, you're going to school. You know, you're going to figure it out there, not here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I had a TV show in high school, so I kind of started to finagle my way into, I got comfortable in talking about music, talking in front of people. Then I got to college, and I had this radio show, and I felt like Clue because I would have records every day. And I would have 50 people listening to my show on a massive campus. But every time I dropped a new record, I felt like Clue. I felt like Flex. I felt like K-Slay. I felt like Greenland. I felt like Who Kid. I felt like these guys. So then when the blog came, I'm like, oh, I can do this from the comfort of my own room and still talk loud shit and be right.
You're playing the records that you like.
Right. And I'm playing the records that you don't have.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fucking, like, that was the thing. That was like the adrenaline. When I press post, and I see niggas retweeting my shit, or I see SK reposting my shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting in the circumference of the niggas that I want to be around. And SK was one of the SK, Two Dope Boys. I wanted to be around and known for, you know, with them.
Yeah.
Chasing Flex, and I'm getting shouts on Hot 97 from Miss Info, and they're playing the records that I leaked.
Yep.
All that right there, that time period for me was just like, you couldn't, like, no bigger check could make me feel how I felt at that time, where people were just so upset. Who the fuck is this low key guy? Why does he have this record before me? Where did he get this record from? I'm getting records from everybody, every which way.
Yep.
And you'll never know who I got them records from, but I had it before you. That's all I wanted. I had it before you. And Clue had every record before anybody that I love. So that's why I always look at Clue as like my that man. Mm-hmm. Him and Drama, they had records we never heard. So now I can do that in the digital form. I'm good.
What was it like linking with Pharrell's team and having them sort of, you know, be a part of this? Because they played their part in the blog era as well. They were almost like the people who tapped a lot of the artists that we ended up loving.
You don't get any of those artists without Pharrell, right?
Yeah.
So it means a lot to us. And we spoke to a lot of people. We spoke to you guys. We spoke to like a lot of different people along the way. But it was important to us in the end to go with people who like could be like Jeff always says, supporting of artists clearly, but to have them be part of the narrative too, we can sit down here and be like, yeah, like someone from this time who meant something, who gave the green light for people to dress different, to record different, to be different. If he could be part of this too, that's, an honor for us and mind blowing, to be completely honest. Like, again,
I mean, Pharrell to me is like the Pharrell and the Neptunes are like the godfathers of like, I hate to put a term to it, but almost just like not gangster shit, right?
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? Like they showed that you can like be super duper hip hop, but like not have the baggiest clothes, but like be into Japanese art and also be into anime and also be into, this sort of sound, and it's not straight just boom bap shit all the time, you know what I mean?
But we can do that. But we can do that. Yeah, but we can do that.
But I feel like there was something special with like Pharrell and like the artists that blew up from the blog era, because a lot of them all looked up to Pharrell and Neptunes and
which
the
is not,
Kanyes and all that type of stuff.
Which is not to say that they were the first, right? Like De La Soul and like,
Little Brother.
Yeah, everybody from like 1992 or whatever. But like I think that it played such a role at that specific time. It's like everything hits at the right moment, and then suddenly it's like, oh right, we can do that,
right?
And we're the first podcast on Other Tone, which is really exciting. And so like to roll it out like that is super meaningful to us. Thank you.
So you're saying it's so casual.
No,
this is not a casual fucking thing.
It's crazy.
Like regarding where we're coming from and how we watch this man and that group do what they do, and y'all are just like, okay, we got a podcast coming out.
Here's the thing too. Okay, so Jeff and I, like I said, we're from 30 minutes north of New York City. We make these videos. They're us with their forgivingly just Jeff and myself, right? Yeah. They are two idiots and a camera, and we make these things and like
that's y'all at home, just chilling, like just doing what y'all do.
Because
chilling.
We speak the language, because we understand, and we create a video like Deconstructing Biggie, and that shit goes viral, right? Because we made it for the commenters in Low Key's site, and the commenters on SK's site, and the commenters that were on Minya's site, and people respected that, and we built that to be, self-built, self-made, and 15 years later, this is a long career for us.
Yeah, man.
Like we haven't we took side gigs to pay the rent, right? Yeah, we didn't, we skipped meals.
Right.
Like we did what we had to do, but like we're still here now.
You're still creating
and
all this time later.
And to link and to do a deal like this, to partner with someone like Pharrell is really like gratifying and unbelievable.
Yeah, especially because like I used to cut class in high school and drive with Mayo to anywhere just to try and find the Nerd CD, which was not like, they said it was coming out in like March. Wasn't coming out in March, so we would just go every single day to like these different
just to check.
Yeah, and they were every single person that worked at the record stores would just be like, no, like get out of here. And so like to have like, I don't know, a 25-year relationship with Pharrell in that way, where it's like, always looking up, and then to somehow crazily end up working together in some form or fashion, like that's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
What were like when y'all were creating this project? What were you guys listening to in regards to the blog era? Like, in the last 3 years, like what did y'all revisit?
You really want to know? You want to know the actual answer? All your fucking interviews, transcribing thousands of hours of this, people just like
no,
all the ums and ers and likes and everything.
I'm like, yo, bro, like I'm in the crib drunk, so it's like, what do you want me to say? Like,
you just hear the bubbles in the background, like
you hear it, like you hear the hookah bubbles.
We had to listen to.
I mean, just like to tap you back into that.
We had to listen to How Fly. We had to listen to Kush and OJ. We had to listen to Crit Was Here. We had to listen to
Charles Hamilton. I mean, like there was just
Charles Hamilton.
About Nothing. All the Charles projects.
Friday Night Lights.
The Friday Night Lights. All the Mac stuff.
Pac Div.
All
So Far Gone.
All the Dom stuff.
Kids in the Hall.
Cool Kids. And for this, like that's a pleasure.
Yeah.
To really like live in this space, and our minds have been in 2007 to 2012 for the last 3 years.
I know
but it's like heavy in that like musical space, and like when we're going through like what songs we can use to license to relive and live
illustrate,
with is like an honor. I mean, like like Dizza stuff, and I mean it on and on.
You know, a lot of those blog era classics aren't on. They're not available on streaming networks.
Right.
They're slowly coming back, but like in bulk,
different names. That's like on
different production, in bulk, they're not there.
How did you maneuver around that?
Well, there's also like there is a cheat code to all this, which is that everything ends up on YouTube.
There you go.
And so like
SoundCloud too, no?
Some SoundCloud. I'll say this.
But yeah,
that famous when Flex debuted Otis. When he went at you,
legend.
Did he go at me?
Yeah.
I mean, 22 minutes.
He did kind of come at
Wait,
you.
22 minutes.
No, because I didn't know. Wait, hold on. Wait. Because hold on.
Digital.
Huh?
He's so digital.
He was coming at all.
That was me, or was that with everybody?
It's everybody.
I was about to say.
You're right in there.
He did have some tweets directed at Flex a couple times. I think he did.
Not our low.
No.
A million
impressions. I remember.
First I'm hearing it.
I remember.
Who did Low not beef with during the blog?
I remember one night.
Are we the only ones?
Yeah.
You and Cass.
Yeah.
I remember
We always got to a fight too.
That wasn't blogger and shit, my nigga. That wasn't blogger. That was real life shit.
That was real life.
That was some real life shit. No, I remember. I think the night of my birthday. I think shut up. I think I went off on Flex.
Okay.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
I went off on Flex. Yeah, I didn't know that was an option either. I went off on Flex on I don't know why, but I was just feeling myself and I just really let him have it. You remember that night, right?
Yeah, but it's all ego.
I forgot what I said, but I really let him have it. And you know who hit me? I think the next day or
Rosie.
No, not yeah, of course.
Eric Rosenthal.
Carly Hustle.
Wow.
I think Carly hit me.
Was she? So she was still working.
She was still at Hot at that time.
Yeah.
But I let Flex have it that night, and I don't know why. He said something. He did something that just like
didn't wish you a happy birthday.
That. In addition to that, but yeah. So now going back, I think on Otis, I think he was probably letting me have it.
Everybody wanted, to have the same relevance, the same level of influence, and
you could tell, like, and obviously they've adapted since, but like when we first was like getting our groove, they weren't comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They were not comfortable. They were like,
well, they didn't take you seriously.
Huh?
They didn't take you guys seriously.
But we had the records, we had the information, we had the access. And they were just like, yo, what the fuck? Who is this? What the fuck is that? This, that, and the third.
Is it Flex? Oh.
No, it's not.
Happy birthday.
It's actually somebody from Power 105.
Oh.
Whoa. It's a joke. It's a joke. But no, I remember vividly that the radio programmers, DJs had a very, very big problem. And because I listened to radio a lot, I sensed it, I felt it, I heard it, and it was articulated to me. So that's why I would start poking my chest out a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nah.
Guys, that was not discreet at all.
It's impossible to be bend over.
Right.
I look dumber.
So like it was like me saying like, nah, like, yo, it's over. Like, we got it.
Yeah.
We got it for now. Then they found their little groove, and what was it? The So Digital. That Flex did. And, I always love Flex, and I always respect him. Like, the people that you love and respect, you go at.
That's right.
You want to go toe to toe with them.
You punch up, you don't punch down.
You don't punch down.
Yeah, right.
So I was punching up at Flex. I was punching up at Clue. I was
why not?
I was punching up at Elliot. I was punching up at everybody. But like, till this very day, I see Clue. My, OG. I see Elliot. Me and him have our exchanges on Twitter all the time. It's always love and respect.
Yeah.
I see, whenever I get to see Minya or talk to her or just tweet or whatever the case is, like, these guys, these guys, Rob Markman, like, I was punching up at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was punching up at Ebro. You know what I mean? Like, now I have a show with Ebro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now me, B-Dot, and, Rob, we got a close relationship. I have respect, and Elliot has respect for me, but those wars were happening.
Started somewhere.
Those wars were happening in this era.
Yeah.
And I would never change that shit for anything because I learned so much from all of them.
Yeah. Rosie, where did you get your music, like, growing up, and how did that change over
That
time.
is true.
Where did I get it from, or where did I get my music taste from?
Well,
I guess
That's a little bit both.
Yeah.
It's a little bit both.
I had older brothers, so I would kind of listen to what they would listen to, which was weird because one was into like hardcore hip hop and the other one was a skateboarder at the time. So he would listen to like alternative and all that shit. And then my dad was a musician, so that's the Spanish music. So at the time, it'd be a bunch of like just mixtapes, like CDs, like that people were making. And you know, they'd have like the bootleg cover with the track listing, but at the time the track was off.
Right.
Like it was missing
It's
three
like 40
tracks.
tracks. And it's like
It was
mostly
missing tracks.
snippets.
Wait, so all right, so let me ask you, like, were you ever frequent on any of these sites, like any of these?
No,
sites?
which is funny. I was gonna ask you guys, like, I was not in the blog era, and I was not into blogs because the one time I went on a blog, I forgot which one it was. It just seemed like someone putting out a track and giving me their opinion on it,
It sounds like me.
which I didn't like.
No, it definitely wasn't your site. Rosie didn't go to that.
Which I didn't like. So to me, it was like, yeah, I'll listen to the music, but like, I don't care what you think about it. I want to know if I like it.
Gotcha.
So I was gonna ask you guys, what did blogs really mean to you guys? What was the purpose for you guys of just putting blogs out?
That shit was just. I got to talk about something I loved.
Yeah.
Right?
I think for me, the blogs that I loved like to consume, it almost was like the conversations that I like having about music in barbershops or in lunch tables, all that stuff. It was right here.
Yeah.
I was right here on my phone. It was right here on my laptop. And, you know, it was a time where, you know, and I don't want to be a get off my lawn sort of dude or whatever.
This is the third episode. This is the third episode you said that. This is the third episode in a row you said that.
But you got to remember, just think of the caliber of artists that have come out during that time. These are guys that were like extremely lyrically dense at that moment. So like, if like one of my favorite blog era moments.
Why are you making that face?
Because I think that's like, there's always good music in every era.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I don't know that everybody was lyrical. I mean, like WAKA wasn't lyrical.
No.
I think that's where he's going. I think that's where he's going. That's where he's going. That's where he's going.
But yes.
How good he was.
But that's
amazing.
But go ahead.
But I'm saying, I say that to say one of my favorite blog era moments was an Exhibit C dropped, right?
Yeah.
On Not Right.
Crazy.
And how I just wanted to just talk to somebody about it and just like fucking just hear what people thought. I'm like, yo, because the first time you hear it, right? And a lot of songs that like came out that time that really changed my perception on music and how I lived it. Like a lot of time you just want to see if other people think the way you think. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not alone in being like, is this one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life?
Right.
5 minutes into hearing it, and then you just, you know, obviously some people hype shit up, but like, you know, you look at the comments, you look on, you know, Twitter at the time when it was wild back then.
But it's also Exhibit C is not going to drop on MTV.
Of course, right.
And
So now there's a sector for you guys to feel like that.
That's right. That's right. We're not going to show up on MTV not until like way later, right? Who are we? We're making these videos that are like little shorts. We're not going to get on SNL.
Yeah.
So our audience is there. Be the big fish in the small pond.
Yeah. But there were moments there though, right? Like there were moments where.
Oh, I got a moment.
No, I
Like,
want to know
whether
what
they
he was
made
going
it
to say
on-
about WAKA not being lyrical. Sorry, I wanted to know that.
Well, I mean, like, I think that WAKA is not known for his metaphors. I think it's very, you know, to the point. Yeah.
Bow.
That was bars.
Yeah.
I got him fucked up.
But like,
He said it. Not known for his metaphor.
yeah.
That was bars.
Even like I remember.
But like the energy is right, and like OJ and like, you know, no one loves French Montana more than me.
That's
but
right,
like,
yeah.
I mean, except for maybe Jesus, I guess, because now they're fused. But like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is that like it's not like the music was only one type. Like the great thing about the blogs was that every day, numerous times a day, you could be exposed to something new, and it was exciting, and it was still part of a subculture that we all were like a part of. Like it still felt underground.
Yeah.
Now it feels like an algorithm is making your shit for you, and like you know there is no human element to it, and
An automated playlist.
and everything is a
Let me
little bit
ask
more
all four of you guys
disposable
a
than
question,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And answer individually, guys. Don't all jump at once. Let's say the blog era came back magically, right?
Yeah.
Social media's gone, everything's gone. What's an artist out today that was not a part of the blog era that would dominate it?
That's a good fucking question, Rosie.
I always feel
Shout
like
out to Rosie.
That's a good fucking question. God
That
damn.
was not out though, so no Drakes,
Yeah.
no Coles, none of that.
Right.
That's out right
That's
now.
out
That
right
would
now.
dominate the blog
Who
era.
would dominate the blog
Fuck.
era? If the blog era came back.
that's a hell of a
Look
question.
at the faces.
That might be the best question you've ever asked on Say
Great
Less.
question.
So to answer that question, you
Just-
gotta
just
say
answer the question.
what made a good blog era artist,
That's
right?
up to y'all.
That's up to us.
Is music?
That's up to
Is
you
it?
guys.
I think it was just more. I think it was more than music that made a
It
good
was
blog
more
era
music,
artist.
yeah.
It was like not only was your music good, like did you have a movement? Like
Yeah.
were you like Jim Jones was talking about this the other day about the whole Push T conversation. Like
Right.
did people want to like dress like you or like
But in the context of what he was talking about, he was off base.
We'll get into that. No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like it had to be more than that. So I mean like right
So
now.
pick your artist and just say why.
I mean, gosh, I would have to say. I mean, I still feel like a Cardi would still be a blog era beast. You know what I mean? Like,
Why?
Just because she was putting out mad content before like her music career popped off. Like she was already famous before Bodak Yellow came out. And,
So you could, is it content for you putting out a lot of content? Because
Well-
then NBA YoungBoy could go to that.
True. I mean, I think you do just great in the blog era also, but I also think like you're doing great.
Blog era was great. All the sites like like Media Takeout, like Crunk and Disorderly, Bossip, all these places would they would call like what they call Jim Jones like Rugrat or like
They all have nicknames.
Yeah.
Yo, I think Ice Spice would have done fine in the blog era.
Shout
you know
out to
what I'm
Sunie
saying?
Purchase.
You already know.
No.
I feel like
No.
You don't think Ice Spice would have popped off?
No.
I
So
feel
I'm
like
thinking about it like this
no.
right now.
No.
Like
No.
women are dominating. You don't think she would be?
But that's
at
one of the
top
issues
joint?
with the blog era, right? Blog era, there's only one woman, and this is like not strictly due to the blog era's faults,
Right.
but this is a conversation that we have on our podcast, which is like, how come no women except for Nikki
Yeah.
really?
And by the way, shout out to like Nitty Scott.
Nitty-
Shout out
yes,
to
Nitty Scott, yes.
Rhapsody. Like there were
Nitty
other
Scott,
women who
yeah, they were-
existed.
they were
there was one
there.
superstar.
Yeah,
And,
so-
as much as we don't, as much as I don't like her, shorty, that's 2012.
oh, Azealia Banks.
Azealia Banks.
Azealia Banks,
She was moving during the blog era as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, like so there were opportunities, but it wasn't a friendly environment for women on blogs.
Right.
And so it's like I don't think that women would if everything was back in those times like now I guess is the question because like that's the issue with the question, right? It's like everything that came after and everything that's made it more inclusive and more open. If we were to remove all of that, then sure, I think that honestly you're right, NBA YoungBoy, but I would be more curious about like somebody who's smaller. I don't know who this person is, but like it would have to be like it would have to be like somebody who's smaller who is more closely aligned with the values of the blog era.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say,
no.
Yeah, like I think
Like
yeah,
would be a
dope blog
Jid
era
would
artist.
absolutely murder.
I
it.
was gonna
So
say
JID
because back then people put out so much music,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
many mixtapes. just
Oh,
after
Earth
mixtapes.
Gang, like
not as much.
any of
Now the output of music is way higher than it was back
Really?
then.
I
Yes.
thought
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the mixtapes that were coming out. When
yeah,
we
well,
were
it's
younger,
both because
like,
like you have Charles Hamilton who puts out
But
8
that
mixtapes
was
in
a scheme for him.
Right.
Yeah, but then you also have
Because
Crooked
Meek wasn't
Eye.
doing that.
No, but you have a lot of people who are doing that though.
But
Like,
Crooked Eye was doing those freestyles every Wednesday, or every
Right.
Monday.
Yeah.
But that's not like the output of music now. It's like album.
okay, so
Right.
what's your answer?
Oh, my answer is either Simba, IDK, Shmino.
I mean, these are all
those are
great
good
picks,
choices. Yeah.
Those are like blog. Like when I'm looking back to that blog era, when
Yeah.
I'm looking back like to
What it
the
looks
similar,
like today.
those
Yeah.
those
Isn't that
guys.
crazy, by the way? Jeff said underground before, and like Bun B, right? Like
Right.
not an underground artist, but like for a specific crowd online,
Yeah.
they were like, "That's my guy."
And
Or
same with Styles P.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have somebody like Joel, you have somebody like
Mm-hmm.
Mac Miller, you have somebody like Wiz. Like Wiz is now like on top of the world, but at the time, it was just like, oh, the guy
I
who
call
got
them-
dropped from Warner, like,
Right.
from Pittsburgh, who had like one song,
And it has one of the most popular songs in the world
crazy,
Yeah.
ever.
It's
What
crazy.
about you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
yeah.
we would want?
I think like
Who do you
anybody
think
from
I-
like the
who do you think would
Dreamville.
dominate?
Yeah.
I think
Like
any
in
of the
2023?
Dreamville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bass.
Yeah.
And you know why?
Rappity rap.
So like,
Yeah.
so
No,
like,
I mean that makes sense.
so like Ebe and Cole.
Yes, he said a good one.
Who's that?
Benny the Butcher.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Is West Side in there too?
Yeah, they all they
Yeah.
Yo, they all that Griselda, nah, right staple.
But like all the Dreamville like guys, so you're talking about like Cole and Eve and Felton and all them, they all like come from the blog era and they all understand the blogs, and so like
they have the cheat code.
It is the cheat code because they're like, we're not gonna rush all these people. We don't need to like go like pop and like sell it, because look at what those guys can do on, and girls. Like Ari Lennox is a fucking super duper
Went
star.
to her show at Terminal 5, magnificent.
Right?
Yeah.
Magnificent.
And she also, shout out to Ari Lennox. She looks the fuck.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Guys.
Incredible.
She looks
And
amazing.
also shout out to Alex Vaughn. She opened up for Alex Vaughn. Is
that's
very
Money's artist.
yes, Money's artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to her as well. But
By the way, so for the Blog Era Twitter account, I've been finding all these videos and things that people have forgotten from like 2009, 2010, 2011. And yesterday I found a video of JID rapping in 2010, 7 years before he was signed to Dreamville. Earth Gang is in the studio with him, and it's just like, you know, a beautiful moment and like so indicative that like this kid's got skills. I also found a lot of Ari Lennox videos from 2010. Wow. And I'm like, it doesn't really fit in with the blog era stuff, but I almost like want to like re-upload them because like I feel like it's just evocative of the time. But yeah.
So speaking of being evocative at that time, going through all that footage, what did you find any footage from like some classic album listening sessions? Or
are you just asking if like, are you in any videos?
Yeah. By the way,
am I?
Yeah.
Yo, I found one so random. It has like 2 views on it, and it's a future listening.
Right, Kaz is in it?
No, that Jeff and I are in it.
Oh, okay.
First of all, it had 1 view, 2 with you.
Yeah, exactly right. But like it goes by, it's some like DJ from like Chicago or something like that. Like, and he just like pans over and you see like Jeff and myself just like eating as much food as we can because it's free. Like
Living off the open bus.
Wait, all right. So I don't. We talk about this moment a lot, and I just want to, since we're reliving listening sessions and moments.
Oh, I don't know where this is going.
No, it's not going where you think it is.
Sons of Essex.
2010. Bringing sneaking bottles of Hennessy in.
Oh shit.
No, the whole the flip cam.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Flip cam era. Oh boy.
Flip cam era, which was dead heat in the blog era, and the gift. So like for people that don't know, the whole thing behind the flip cam story is I went to an event. I worked for BT at the time, and this was when Kanye was releasing 808s and Heartbreaks. Usher had just found Justin Bieber. Rihanna had appeared in Kanye's video, and T-Pain and Kanye West dropped.
Good luck.
No, off the moon. The moon. What's that Moon record?
Oh,
Walking on the Moon.
Walking on the Moon.
They dropped videos for all those at the spring open house, right? So Def Jam. So I get invited. Gabe at the time, VP of PR. L.A. Reid was the president. My boss is very close with all of them. And I'm the only employee sitting next to them. So I'm supposed to bring my camera. I'm supposed to bring my flip cam. I was like, I don't have none of that shit. So my boss is like, Mariah Carey was there. She was like, come on, go over there. Let's take a picture. So I'm like, all right, fine. We go over there, take a picture. Just at a third.
With a flip phone?
I forgot what it was.
The quality
Flip cam.
Flip cam.
Which, by the way, so this is at a time when like not everyone had like video like capabilities on their phone.
We had, it was like a device that we had. Yeah.
And you plug it in.
Plug it in and you upload it, right?
It was a brick with a camera.
It was a
That's right.
brick, yeah.
That's right. It served one purpose.
So
How old are you guys?
we're the same.
You always
Nah. So
But like a year.
so they're
aged me with you.
they're debuting all these
I
videos.
say if we could have went to the same high school, we're the same age. Okay? So 4 years difference.
They're debuting all these videos, right? They're debuting
Wait, there's a
every video.
4-year difference?
If there's a 4-year difference,
We
right?
could have went to the same high school. You said we're the
Yes.
same
Like
age.
if I was a sophomore and you're a senior, I'm like, all right, we're the same
What
age.
if I'm a freshman and
No,
you're a
you're not the
senior?
same age.
No,
That's not math.
By the way,
That's not
I was
mathematically
on
correct.
Kaz's side at first, and I was like, 4-year difference. I was like, no, like, I'm on Rosy's side. You said
Am I bugging right now? Like, nigga skipped 3 years. Like, how are you on the same age?
If we could have went to the same high school, we're the same. No, we're not.
Yeah.
When you were a senior in high school, you
Same generation.
would never hang out with anybody younger than you. Never.
Well, maybe Kaz did.
Nigga picking up the freshmen like right before they go to school. Like, we the same age, let's go hang out. Like, no, that's not how it
That's
is.
always tries to take me under the bus with it. What is it? No. You
Anyway,
graduated like
back to the story.
Yo, don't age me. I'm wrong
You're
enough.
aging yourself.
The grades do enough.
you're doing yourself.
So I recorded all the videos,
Yeah.
right?
On your flip cam.
On my flip cam. And my boss was like, go upload them shits to...
Wait, one more time. Was it flip cam? It's
It's a brick with a cam.
Yeah.
okay.
It's a camera phone without the phone.
It's a flip with a cam.
It shouldn't be this hard to describe, guys. Like, we're all smart as fucking here. We're all pretty intelligent. So
One of those classic flip cams.
my boss was like, yo, go upload that to the Soundproof. I forgot what the blog was called. Soundbite, Sound something.
Okay.
For your work, yeah.
Yeah, so I uploaded.
No. Look up flip cam.
Phone.
cam.
A flip cam.
That's a flip phone.
A flip cam was basically like a Nokia. But
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, that.
It's a brick with a camera.
Yo,
I had the white one.
That is a brick with a camera.
That's the white
Yeah.
one.
20 used?
no, Eric, 230 next to it.
Buy one.
No, we should not.
Can I fucking tell my story?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, it's a good story.
Anyway, I go to the office, I upload the videos illegally, then I upload them to my site illegally, and I go home. So I come to work the next day, I'm on the bus, and Gabe calls me. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I can't believe you would do that to us. You uploaded these videos, this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, my fault, bro. I'm about to be in the office in like 30 minutes. I'll take him down. Click, go back to sleep. I walk in the office and I hear the audio from the event the night prior. And I go on, I'm looking at my homegirl's desk. I'm like, yo, where'd you get that video from? Oh, YBF. I'm like, oh, God.
Yo. Wildfire.
It made it to YBF, Concrete Luke, Nicole
So you couldn't even
Bitchy.
delete
Shout out
it.
to all those beautiful
Yep.
black women that
That's
really
right.
held their shit.
That's right.
It made it to there.
Yeah.
My boss calls me and she was like, yo, Steven Jackson wants to talk to you. I'm like, God damn.
Steven Jackson.
Stephen Hill.
Steven Hill.
I'm like, damn. Like, yeah.
I'm like,
Steven
oh,
Jackson.
smoke?
Yeah.
They were like,
First phone, Steven Jackson.
Steven Hill was like, yo, bro, don't worry about it. He was like, yo, bro, just don't go to a Def Jam event. They don't want you there for 6 months. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know who calls me? Elliot.
Okay.
Elliot's like, yo, you got the rest of that footage?
Yo.
And at the time, I'm like, nah, nigga, fuck out of here. I wanted that nigga's head because he had everything I wanted. I was like, no, you want this footage? No, you ain't getting this footage.
They were flip cam like guys too. Like,
No, they were,
concert,
but I instilled that rule.
Yeah.
It's the low-key rule.
The low-key
rule.
Yeah.
is definitely
This is the best time for me to talk my shit. I
Lo,
really
when
thank
you-
y'all. I
when
appreciate y'all for doing this for me.
You and a number of other people called this time the Wild Wild West. We almost called the podcast the Wild Wild West, but it really was. It was reckless. Comment sections were like bitter and nasty
Bro, we didn't
and not
know- we
nice.
didn't know
And even artists were on social media with no filter.
Yeah.
Fab was on there with no filter. Fab called me a
When
bitch.
social media came around,
Diddy?
Yeah, Diddy. Oh,
then you no longer
unfollow
have, like-
Diddy. Shout out to Fox.
Yeah.
you no longer have that remove.
Yeah.
Like we grew up and like Jay was a superstar because like you couldn't get to him.
Right.
But all of a sudden I can just like at Fab
Yeah.
and he'll at me back.
The degree of
Like I
separation.
could say something about you and you search
And
your
they
name and
see
then
it?
you that's what happens?
Yo,
Remember when a certain rapper
Bro.
ran up on somebody in a mall because they'd been talking shit?
Bro,
I do.
I have Rick Ross call me a Beyonce ass nigga.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like
Under what context?
Didn't you get cornered by like Jeezy's people and they brought Jeezy with them?
oh yeah, I got cornered by Jeezy's people at a listening session.
yeah.
Jesus.
Because you were low key from you right that new.
No, because I didn't like the rollout for TM103. I said the record sucked. This is when we had Jump Off TV. And I was like, yo, those records are ass. Like, this shit is... So Carbon 15 at the time, that was his A&R. He was like, yo, he's having a private listening session for TM103. We finished the album. Come
Private
listen to it.
Session for one.
Yeah.
It wasn't private. It was not. It was a bunch of motherfuckers in there. No, it was a bunch of motherfuckers in there. So I'm in there by myself. So I'm like, all right, they're not gonna do nothing to me. Like,
Nobody
I'll
was
go.
coming.
So it was like it's probably maybe 30 people in there.
By himself.
Nah, it was about 30 people in there. So the album's being played. I'm like, oh, this shit is tough. This shit is all right. So I think it's either Carbon or Folk come over to me and it was like, yo, someone wants to meet you. So at this time I'm thinking, like, it's like an industry exec or some chick or like, all right, yeah, like, where they at? It's this dark figure in the corner.
Uh-oh.
Bald head.
Yo, why
black
do you
bandana.
ignore all of these
I
signs?
ignore every sign. Bro, so it's this nigga Jeezy. He emerges. He was like, yo, so how you like the album now, nigga?
Oh shit!
I dapped that nigga up. I folded
I
like a
loved it.
new pair of clothes, bro. I folded so quick. I said, yo, bro, that shit crazy.
To be fair, it's a good
To be fair, it's a good ass album. But in the context, like, yeah, nigga, you folded.
He was gonna like that shit that night.
I was like, yo, my nigga,
That shit was gonna sound like Thriller to you.
nigga. That shit was the blueprint. That shit was Whitney Houston first album, nigga. That shit was every fucking greatest album you've ever. Yo, that shit was crazy, my
Yo,
nigga.
Lo, did any like project shut down your site like because of the amount of traffic?
One did. I forgot what it was. I think it might have been something Beyonce related.
I remember
Yeah,
the
I think
song,
it was something Beyonce related.
the what was it, the Until the End of Time remix with Justin Timberlake?
No one has that without the text.
Yeah, I think you're the only. That's
And I don't even know where the original is.
Did it ever like officially release? I'm sure it did, right?
No, it did. It
Never
did.
officially released?
Yeah, I mean they got it like.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
but for a minute, like that was the only version. I remember the first time I made it to Hot 97, my mother heard it.
Yeah.
She got scared.
You heard that?
She was like, "Why is Miss Info saying your name?"
No, since you bring up your mother, let me ask y'all a question. When y'all first started,
Yeah.
what did y'all tell your parents and your mother about? Because
I couldn't even explain what the fuck I was doing.
No,
like, no, I know your story, but like,
Yeah.
what did your parents think?
I mean so I graduated college. I thought I was gonna be a feature film writer and director.
Okay, that's
And then all of a sudden I come home.
hopeful.
Guess you were wrong.
Yeah. We just made a fucking movie, The Blog Era, April 9th. But so I come home, I got a college degree, and all of a sudden I don't have a job. My parents are like, just take a temp job, do something. Like, come on, like, what are you doing just sitting around? I would take a bunch of pieces of blank paper, a pen, put them in my pocket. I would run down to the beach. I would write a fucking
Nigga think he
script.
Meryl Streep.
And then when I got hungry, I would run back. For a whole summer, my parents were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right?
Did you lie and say you had a job when you would run to the beach?
No. They were like,
come back.
Really?
And they was at the beach for 2 hours. Like, I just got off of work.
I'm a part time.
I have to be clear.
They ripped my head off.
The beach is not near us.
No, this was, and I didn't run.
Miles away.
Yeah, this is madness. Yeah, and they were so heated. Eventually, when I started working with Kanye, and then I figured my way out, and they were like, "Oh, you're legitimate, and you can make a career out of this." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, "Oh, Jeff and I should team up and start doing these sketches." And they were like, "Okay, so does this make money or anything?" And we're like, "No." And we're working on these sketches like
Disappointment
in
just
their
set in.
home.
Oh,
under
you're
their
in
roof.
you're in their house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
y'all are just doing all this bullshit.
All the
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Inviting all of our friends to be a part of the bullshit. And they're just like, "What? Why are you still living here? Like, what is going on?"
Did they say like no? Did they tell you like
No.
Wait, but then we started putting them in sketches, and they were like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
Yeah.
But they liked the idea that we were doing something.
Yeah,
They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what the blogs were. But we, you get posted on Misinfo, you get posted on Not Right, you get posted on Smash. You heard that new all the sites that mattered to us.
And mom was such a regular reader of all these sites that she.
No, but it gave us the energy to keep moving.
Yeah.
Right? So then when we moved into the city, and our parents didn't need to know the sacrifices we were making, skipping meals, not like
Because
walking
they
everywhere.
I'm sure like our parents have done the similar thing.
I want to cook for you
the
guys.
best, right?
And they don't want to see
He
you
said
do
skipping
this-
meals so many times. I want to cook for you.
Yeah.
guys a meal.
Yeah, make us the
Please.
fettuccine chicken, right?
Can you make the
So you can call me a basic. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Y'all
Chicken
gotta call me
Alfredo.
basic.
No, but so
Listen,
we kept doing this.
We gotta take back Alfredo from the
Yeah.
bases. Okay, it's a good meal. It's a good meal.
Just gonna make it in bulk and bring it.
It's like here.
where it's like we knew when we first met Lo. We went to Elliot's birthday party, and we walked in, and Lo's like, "Oh, you guys are like real. You're like you're actual people." And we're just like, and he's like, "Yo, I fuck with you. Like, all the creativity. It's so different, and like I respect it."
was fun.
And
It
we
was-
became instant friends right then and
Yeah,
there.
we did.
I know exactly where that was, and like Just was DJing, and like
No, the first time we met was
Uh-oh.
at MTV.
When?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Gabe and Ray Holiday.
Oh, okay. No, yeah.
It's another duo. It's another duo.
Sort of. I mean, they look completely different.
But it's in numbers, it's the same.
Yeah.
I don't know when I met you guys.
We met you at
Sons of Essex.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I was the one that pulled you off during that fight. I was like,
Thank you for that, by the way.
But real shit, like you guys kept us going, right? Like, yeah, we got money from Complex to like write lists. You know, it's you take like easy money, odd jobs, whatever, just to get by and like hope that maybe someone's gonna see something. Maybe you're gonna turn it into something. Yeah. But what did our parents think? They were like, look, they moved into the city. They're able to like support themselves. They're doing something that they love. Like our dad was a company man. Okay, he worked for Citibank. He worked for IBM, and that was it, right? Yeah. Like, but he didn't love those jobs. Right. He wasn't interested in those jobs. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like he loved art. He loved music. He loved like traveling. He didn't want any part of that, like sitting at a computer in a cubicle, whatever.
But as a man, when you have a foundation and a tribe and a family, like
you have to do what you
gotta remove some.
And that's what he did. Which, by the way, is like his whole life. Like that's what we admire most, right? That's what we appreciate him for doing, right? Like our mom made a lot of sacrifices for us too, right? Like, but like they saw what we were doing and they were like, okay, cool. They're sacrificing and they'll make it someday. Yeah. And I don't know what it is that they're doing. But I like that they're doing it.
That's literally what it was with me. Like they were just like, all right, he's active. And whatever he's active with, there's a smile on his face. And he's doing it all the time. So there has to be something that's pulling him there that's going to push him to where he wants to go next. And that's what I always respect about my mom, especially. Like my dad was very like militant. Like, all right, man, you just get your degree. Stay out of trouble. Yeah. Don't get nobody pregnant. You're good with me. My mom was like, all right, what we doing? Yeah. When I remember I got my offer letter from BET. It was for $35,000. And I opened it up with her at the dinner table. My dad was asleep. It was like I just came in from like some event. And it was like 12 o'clock at night. And she was sitting up waiting for me because she had the letter. So she had to put the letter on the table and was just waiting for me to walk in the door. She was like, open that up. I opened that up. And
she had read it already?
No. She knew because she knew I was up for the job at BET. She already knew I was up.
Man, why'd you open it?
But she was like, I want to read this with you. Man. So if it's bad, we got you. We're going to keep moving. If it's good, you've got to where you wanted to get to. Yeah. And fortunately enough, it was good. And as soon as I read the first 3 letters, we would like to off, broke down.
Crazy.
I broke down right in her arms.
Real shit.
Because I'm like, this is what it almost feels like. This is what we been building for.
And you don't get there without your website.
But I don't get there without our mom.
Without her, no, for sure.
I don't get there without both of them.
For sure, but they supported you doing.
They allowed me to live in their house and do all that nonsense.
That's right.
Because they knew, like, okay. And then when it became to the hosting shows, the Apple and the Palooza, they were like, oh shit, this is what it was. Yeah. Like, yes.
Crazy.
Man, shout out to supportive parents. There's actually nothing.
Okay, I have questions. If you could say, what was the oddest job?
The oddest job.
You did something strange for some change?
I did. Thank you.
Thank you for telling on me.
Okay, so
if you don't feel comfortable.
No.
But you're the shameless one.
Yeah, no. Okay, so what happened was Eric and I went down to MTV was doing a taping for a reality show, game show. They were that Peter Rosenberg was hosting in Williamsburg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was called Hip Hop Squares.
Oh yeah. No. Wait, it was a different one. It was a different one. It was not Hip Hop Squares.
No.
Weren't you on Hip Hop Squares?
No, I wasn't.
Hip Hop Squares was like Hollywood Squares.
No, yeah.
This was something. Different.
It was a pilot that never came out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
MTV's good for a pilot that never comes out.
It doesn't sound strange.
Ain't good for that.
Sounds okay yet.
So we go down there and we're friends with the staff, and so we get to go to free lunch afterwards. And there's a guy who is one of the contestants who also sneaks in. And this guy is like loud and boisterous. And he's just like, yo.
It's Kaz?
It was Kaz the entire time. And so he starts telling his whole story about how he is the Craigslist hustler. And so what he would do is he would go on Craigslist And
Craigslist hustling.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Find out about these gigs.
he would find out about these surveys.
Okay.
And they would say, we're looking for a black woman who has psoriasis in her 60s. And he'd be like, that's me. And so he would get paid off of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, what a scumbag. Like, this guy's the worst.
How do you show up as not a black woman?
Well, so it's over
No,
the
you do
phone.
it online.
Or
Yeah.
online.
Oh,
You don't know until you show up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like an in-person. All right. Okay. That makes sense.
So he's just like filling out surveys, just giving bad intel. And so I was like, I'm not a scumbag. I can get money, and I'm a smart person, so I'm gonna go on Craigslist. And so Eric and I were making videos at this point, I think. And so I was like, I looked there and I looked down the thing, and I find an administrative assistant job for like, I think it was like $40. And I'm like, this is gonna be the easiest $40 I have to make. So the guy was across the park. I go across Central Park, and I meet him at. He didn't let me upstairs, but I met him in the lobby. And so I am.
This sounds weird.
I mean, it'd be weirder, I guess, if I was in his apartment. But so
$40 though.
Yeah.
Some strange piece of change.
Straight for some change.
Anyway, bing bong, I got the $40. So he meets me downstairs. He has a plastic bag. He has index cards. He has staples, and he says, "I'm a magician,
Oh God.
and I need you to take these index cards 2 at a time. You put them next to each other, make a pocket, staple, then 1, 2, then 3 down the side. So it comes with pocket." So he's like, and so I need you to make, there were like 1,000 cards. I need you to get these back as soon as possible. I say, all right. Walk across the park. He's like, you got a stapler? I'm like, yes. So I go home and I walk into the apartment. I share it with my brothers at the time, both of them. I walk in my room and I'm like, you guys won't see me for a couple days. I'm going to be stapling and making these $40.
Oh my God.
I know. I think it was like.
How long did it take you to finish the project?
Whatever I thought it was going to be, it was way longer. Like all you
All
heard.
that for $40?
Okay,
You
and
could
he says,
just called your mom like, mom, can you like, put $40 in the Chase account?
Making the money.
and by the way, so like he was like, and if it's not up to my liking, like I'm gonna not pay you the full amount. And I'm like, there's no chance. I mean, like I'm a college graduate, and I'm like,
master stapler.
I'm good at stapling.
Brother said the full amount like it's $5,000. Like, bro, it's $20 that you're gonna lose. Like, all right, cool.
So after like I don't know a week, I walk across the park. My arm's broken.
All you heard.
it took a week for you to
all that
staple.
time.
It wasn't a week.
All you hear is just like ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
Did you hear deep breaths in the middle of
Yeah. No, you just heard like crying.
Yeah. You hear nothing for a while and you're just like, is he all right? Like,
Yeah.
Did he staple his neck?
If it was
Did he end it all?
500 pockets.
It was so many. Like it,
my
it was so many. So I
Did you
walk
cut
across.
yourself?
I did not cut myself, Rosie. And so I walk across the park. I have all these stupid cards, and they gave me $30, and I'm like, fuck this. Like this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until.
Probably like 2 years later, I start getting these emails being like,
You got more staples?
hey, can you vote for me? I'm in the finals for America's Got Talent. And so this man has made his living like off the backs of poor people like me.
Wait. He waited till America's Got Talent off your staples?
I'm on some list. Yes, he's on America's Got Talent.
Well, was he
in the
doing magic tricks on America's
Yeah.
Got Talent?
Oh, so you have assembled the tools.
He's
That's
got
right.
Like, he's got like,
You were part of his success.
yes, he has like 1 million followers on Instagram. Like,
Where's he at right now?
quite well. Great, he's doing great. He's probably in Tahiti on vacation.
And he paid
You didn't put him in the
$30.
documentary?
No, what? I mean
yeah,
that's a whole different
big part of the
documentary.
vlog.
Oh my God.
What's his name?
His name is Oz Perlman.
Jack.
That's your fault.
Please pull this
Yeah,
man
that's your
up.
fault.
Otis what?
Oz.
O's.
Otis.
Magician
Kaz
Otis
had his finger
what?
on the button ready to
I was
Coleman.
waiting for that rim shot button. I was like, oh my God.
Magician
OZ.
Otis.
Oh, damn it.
OC.
Yeah, and then PRLMAN.
What was like? Was he black? Was he Jewish? Was he like? What was?
We're
Are
about to
we
see.
really like, I don't think that's legal.
Fam, you went across Central Park to staple all this shit for a
Yeah.
man that's on America's Got Talent. I think
I didn't know any of that. I knew that he was a magician. I didn't
That's
even know
right.
he was a magician. I knew I had to do.
that $40.
Yeah, he made that
It did
$10
not.
disappear.
Yo,
Yeah.
we should blackmail him.
We will
Amen.
find this motherfucker. We try to
Amen.
Finagle, my boy.
If anybody's gonna find him,
He didn't try. He
they gonna
did.
find him.
Jeff, Eric,
Yeah.
the Blog Era podcast comes out next week. I want
Yes.
to ask you just a couple of questions. Just
Yeah.
just your own opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest Blog Era artist.
Wait.
in your opinion.
This is how I wanted to do
Oh
it.
wait, how do you want to do it?
This is how I wanted to do it. Pop
Do it,
quiz.
Rosie.
They're brothers, right?
Yeah, brother.
Spend a
I think they
lot of
are.
time together.
What do I
Okay.
think Eric's is?
Yeah.
Okay.
and
I
vice
like that.
versa.
I like
Okay,
okay,
I think
okay.
Eric's is Wiz.
I think Jeff's is Drake.
Is that correct?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
No, you know what? Fuck this.
I was gonna
Is
say
that
Drake.
him?
No. Is that him?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
No more.
He looks like he paid $30.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like somebody that say a walk across Central
That
Park.
one's,
Okay, hold
that
on,
one's
hold
the
on.
crazy one.
I don't like this. Somebody pull out their notes.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, they're gonna write it down.
Oh yeah. All right.
Right,
Yeah,
what?
because you guys are cheating here.
Right,
That's a
what
good idea. That's a
Yeah,
good
they're
idea.
cheating.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
Sure.
what did they write
They
down?
looked at each other and said, yeah.
What
Okay.
did they write down?
All right, so
What-
this is
so ask, the
basic.
ask whatever
This
questions.
is
Y'all
basic.
are blog era.
All right,
That's
you
not
do
me.
Blogger.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. We can't because we're doing our thing tomorrow.
No.
No,
I'm
you're
saying.
just asking.
We're just asking
This is
blog era
opinion-based
questions.
questions.
And-
Opinion based.
To see if they. If
It's
they,
like the newlywed game, just with
Right,
brothers.
right,
and
yeah.
blogs.
answer and then
All right, the
I'll hold it
best. All right,
together.
so you said best artist.
Okay, I guess my next question is going to be artists that you swore by that didn't blow up.
Oh.
Write down your own and then guess each other.
Oh, yeah, I'm asking my own.
You're
You're answering his.
You're
no,
answering
you're answering
his.
your own. So I
Oh,
can
yeah,
cross-reference.
answer your own.
Answer your own, and then I'll cross-reference here.
Okay, what we got here? Artists from the blog era that you swore was going to blow up but
Okay.
did not.
Okay.
Oh, we doing it in a row, so that we'll reveal the answers after we ask.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, you can do it that way, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
All right. My question is.
And you're answering your own.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
biggest mixtape from the blog era.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Got it. No, it's yours, Jeff.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I need to think of mine. I need to think of mine. I need to speak in the mic.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Biggest mixtape in the blog era.
Okay.
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 I'll say
Favorite snack. No, I'm
Favorite
just,
snack. Okay.
he said okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, from the blog era. Favorite snack from the blog era. Because what
like-
the fuck were we eating back then?
Hey, like am I bugging?
No.
I'll say my question is the blog or blogger that did the most to keep record companies open.
Oh.
Keep record companies open.
Yes, who kept them in business, who kept the lights on.
How, what is that? What is, I don't know.
They're like which record label leaned the most on the blogs as far as like
Oh, wait, the record label or the blog?
the blog. Name a blog.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a specific record label, but who's the one that record labels leaned on the most? As like, oh my gosh, we got to sign this dude. He was on whatever blog.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I got one.
We just get a bunch of these people.
Which personality from a blog did you hate the most but love their blog?
I see.
I got one.
Love to hate them. I don't have a blog era
Wait,
question.
didn't like them but like their blog?
Yeah.
You hated their personality. Like, you hated how they talked. You hated how they tweeted. But you loved their blog because they put up quality
guess,
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And last but not least, I'm just gonna say,
No, okay, I have one.
you have one. Okay, you one after me.
Did you guys ask favorite mixtape from blog era?
Well, he
Yes.
said mixtape.
Okay.
So I'll say, okay, the biggest moments in the blog era.
Okay.
I knew
The
that.
most influential moment in the blog era.
I like that one.
Okay.
All right.
And then I'll have a random one that has nothing to do with anything.
All right, you
Okay.
close it out, Rosie.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Most unreasonable pet peeve.
It's
From
random.
the blog era?
It's random.
That sure
no,
is
just
random.
in life. They're brothers. I want to know if they know each other.
Okay. Biggest moment of the blog era.
It's like an
So,
irrational
all right,
fear.
so we'll go back and forth. So, you
okay.
start. And then,
Okay. Yeah.
So, but say the question and then say the answer.
Okay. Swore would blow up and didn't. It's the real.
Oh, wait, that's yours.
Wait,
That's
no,
very good.
The phone
Listen,
That's very good.
Great outfitters.
That's very.
Is that what you said?
No, that's a very Eric answer.
Jeff, what's your answer?
No, you
That
have
was
to
my
answer.
answer.
Yeah.
That's his. Yeah. So now, what's your
You
answer?
have to think what his answer.
I think what your answer is.
Oh no, that's gonna be too hard.
No, they were
Okay.
answering for
Okay.
them. You were answering for
Guys,
him.
just simplify it. Just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
your
okay.
answer.
Okay.
Artists just weren't
Yeah, I thought that the cool kids are gonna be bigger than Drake, and
Right.
I've said that numerous times. So
Yeah.
like that's not a surprise for me.
No, I never heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest
okay, I like
mixtape,
Yeah.
Cushion OJ.
Yeah, Cushion OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cushion OJ was the first
agreed on
mixtape.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's obvious.
Yo, when that came back on streaming, like, what a
Yes.
day.
They changed a little bit of it.
I
too.
know they
Rosie
And
asked.
Taylor all the dice.
I was
Yeah.
happy when More About Nothing came on Apple. I was like, yes.
Yes.
more about nothing.
Yes.
All right, so
Facts.
all right. what was
Wait,
next?
Rosie asked what our favorite snack was, and I thought that Eric's would be chocolate chip cookies.
I didn't even think about the question. I just heard Nicki Minaj.
He's asking to keep it on.
I got you.
right here with me sometimes, man.
Bob did the most to keep record companies open. So initially, I thought you meant like which one was sort of like in the pocket of like record companies.
Ooh, I'd like to know that one
And
too.
that I would say like Rap Radar. Like,
Yeah,
like
easily.
all of them were just like, it's so crazy. They're like, oh, we know Elliot, so we're just gonna like focus on his website. Doesn't
Right.
matter that they're not like breaking the artist.
I'm not, and it's not, and it's not like a slight. It's just like
No,
Elliot
no.
just had that much clout
Yeah.
and that much like.
That's right.
His name rings bells.
Yeah, so every label was
I'm gonna
like,
say who broke the most artists, where they were like looking to their side. And it's funny, by the way, this is crazy. So when we were in South by, and Currency is talking about like he goes in to take meetings because he gets like super duper hot. And he's like, they got Herfection on the fucking screen. And I was like, that's wild, right? Shout out to Heather, Herfection.
oh,
But,
Herfection. I remember.
I mean,
her.
not right is
Not right is the
Yeah,
answer.
not bro. We were all chasing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Is
were
that
all,
the same answer you
Yeah.
got?
Not right.
Which
Yeah,
personality did you hate the most, but you love their blog? You want to go first, Jeff?
I know what your answer is.
My
And so
answer
I
is-
Is it low key?
Nas.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Cocaine Blunts.
But that,
wow.
okay. So Nas is a very
Yes, Nas is, I remember.
hard
okay.
to get along
Polarizing
with.
person,
But like,
polarizing.
I had a good dinner with him. But yes, I would say Nas.
He wanted
I did.
Yeah.
You said the same thing?
Yeah.
He wanted to punch me in the face.
Well, I
but
mean, like
that's-
my real answer
know.
would be like, because you said like somebody who maybe you didn't like. I didn't love the politics behind World Star Hip Hop.
Okay.
But like I loved the artists that would break from there sometimes.
Right.
Biggest moment of the blog era. So there's so many big moments, and when you tune into our podcast, you're gonna experience them. Some you know, some you don't. To me, one of the like most unbelievable ones, and everyone knows it, but it's like still worth talking about and talking deeply about. And man, the perspectives that we got on this one event when On Smash and the Jazz One were taken down by the feds was
wasn't that around Thanksgiving?
it was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
I was at the fucking dinner table with my family. And
I know.
Getting messages like, "Yo, they got
It's
on Smash."
crazy. Of all nights.
I'm like, what?
Yo, it's crazy. I do want to say another major moment was when D.Omen snuck into
the Watch the Throne
Throne listening.
Yo,
They tried to blame
blamed it on us.
No. They tried. No. They tried to blame that shit on me. He tried to blame it on me.
He was
On you.
He tried to say like, cause like I think he recorded something and my name got caught up in it. Like I think he was on Twitter saying
madness.
some shit because I was out eating ice cream and he called me.
Why do you
I
remember that?
I forgot what radio station. It was like some like online radio station.
Yeah.
And I called in and I was like, yo, bro, like you putting that shit on me. Like I didn't even have my phone out.
crazy.
You got caught.
Mike Dean went after it. Was the whole thing was
That was a wild
You
night.
said your same answer?
My answer was the On Smash rate.
yeah.
Yeah.
The most unreasonable pet peeve.
Oh.
Some shit that just doesn't make sense.
I know what Eric's is. I can't think of what mine is.
What is mine?
What's Eric's?
Eric hates it when you load the dishwasher,
No, okay.
dishwasher wrong.
No, here's,
When you what?
I swear to God,
When
this
you-
has come up before.
Wait,
My
what?
biggest pet peeve is Jeff saying that. That's fucking crazy.
Wait, what is it?
Fucking nonsense.
That loading the dishwasher in a way that Eric does not find agreeable.
Does it bother you though when you open it? You're like, ah!
We do these
What's
interviews
your-
and people
what's
are
your
just
issue?
like, what's the biggest pet peeve? And Jeff goes, I know exactly what it is. And then it annoys me that he says it.
So that's your pet peeve.
Yeah, it drives fucking
What's the fact that he
crazy.
says it and it's not your
I
pet peeve?
know, it
Yeah,
drives me
yeah,
nuts. Yeah, so anyway.
Oh my God, Jeff,
funny as fuck.
Eric, I've known you guys for over a decade, And every
We still
time
remember you.
I still remember me.
Yeah.
I fanned out when I first met you guys, and it was for good reason because I know you guys have been incredible content creators, and more than that, just incredible people. This project, I couldn't be happier to see you guys do it. Man, you guys are just amazing guys.
Yo, imagine now the new job he's gonna get, the GM of the Knicks.
Yeah.
After fanning out again, like, bro,
Yeah.
it's levels to this shit, bro.
Things is always good. Things just happen.
That's right.
No, but I'm serious, man. This is a very obviously anybody who listens to this podcast knows how much I adore the blog era and romanticize it and talk about it so much. And having you guys be at the helm of telling this story for the first time, which I'm sure is going to be told a million more times afterwards, is super dope. It's super important. I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud to call y'all friends. And man, just good luck with everything, man.
Thank you.
It's gonna be fucking fire. I can't wait for Other Tone. Shout out Pharrell. Shout out you guys. It drops. What's the exact date?
What's the exact date?
April 19. Yeah.
Ooh, right before
That is some podcast listening for your ass.
Kaz has pretty much echoed everything. Yeah, Kaz has pretty much echoed everything that I feel and how I've experienced you guys. But at the same time, it's just like to go through this together, to meet you guys in the tip of the iceberg, and to take it to 2023 and watch y'all tell a story I've been a part of, a story that people miss and people that are clamoring for, and you guys did it at the actual time. They're like, fine, all right, here it is. This is what y'all want. We got 10 for y'all.
That's right.
And then we might have another 20 in 2024. So from me to you guys are very, very inspirational. You guys have always kept the same energy. You guys have always kept the same optimism and the same.
Because they're sober.
That is true.
That is true.
That's why.
They've been straight as
That's as straight as life.
They used to come to the bar and get juice.
No, like,
No ice.
but no, like even outside of the music, birthday parties, pulling up, sending condolences for
real
our
shit.
losses, and just always just keeping it a buck, and now watching y'all take it to the next chapter with someone who has created so many chapters. So shout out to Other Tone for recognizing the vision and taking a chance on two young guys who just love the culture as much as he does. So congratulations.
Thank you.
19,
Thank you.
The
Yeah.
holiday. The blog era. Congratulations, man. Y'all, I love y'all. Y'all are just some of the best idiots I've ever fucking met, because I'm the same idiot, if not more of an idiot, and he is too, and that's why we love to have this conversation. We could literally sit here for another 3 or 4 hours.
We can do this for hours.
Right.
But you know what? We won't have enough time for when they make the actual docuseries a movie when they come back.
That's right.
Yeah. And we'll do it, and next time we'll do it at AMC Theater. We'll do it somewhere big. Yeah.
We'll do it all good.
So
from
congratulations,
someone who's
guys.
not from the blog era, what I do appreciate is you guys taking the time to include everyone that you said made the blog
150
era.
people.
And like you guys really took the time to like include everyone and not just do it on your own, or be like one of those people that wasn't a part of it and doing it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Jeff and Eric Rosenthal, aka Itsthereal.
Yes.
Not your agents.
Absolute fucking
Yeah, not your agents, not your accountants.
No. Thank you guys so much for pulling up.
Thank you guys.
I know y'all got a busy week ahead, and I hope that everybody gets to really, really understand and comprehend the work you guys really put in for 3
I'm
fucking
gonna
years.
watch it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you.
No, you gotta listen to it.
You gotta live it.
You gotta listen to
No,
it.
You can't watch
Yeah,
it.
it's not.
There
It's
you
not
go.
big.
Let's-
All right,
I
I'll
just want to
listen
say
to it.
thank you guys, because like this is real shit. This is like people talk about family. This is real family right here,
Facts.
and
Of course,
this is
man.
like years beyond these 3 years. This is real shit. Like seeing you guys out.
I hope they
Rocking
can
with
see
you
the
in New York
resemblance.
City. Yeah. Like it's super meaningful. Like this was not just like any stop. This is like we hit you guys because this is a conversation that needs to be had. So
sure.
appreciate you guys.
I appreciate and love
Yeah.
you guys.
Love you too.
With all my heart, man,
Yeah.
for real. Thank you guys for coming up to say less.
Yes.
Mo, you good? Was this week-
Yeah,
you
bro.
chilling?
What's this weekend?
Yeah?
Nothing, bro. I'm chilling, bro.
Chilling? Rosie, what you getting into?
Chilling and getting rid of this shirt.
This is a good
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. The play-ins start this week. So I just want, before we get out of here, play-ins start tomorrow.
Or Cleveland Saturday.
So I just want to, before we...
Ricky Smith, Raconia, you know what I mean? I already got a nice embarrassment bet for you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you told me about that.
We're gonna,
so just before we get out of here, your predictions. Do the Knicks get out of the first round against the Cavs?
Knicks in 6 games.
Knicks in 6?
Knicks in 6 games.
Let's do it.
Comfortably.
Let's do it.
No. Okay.
Comfortably. No, they beat up 3 out of 4 times this year.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson smoked Donovan Mitchell's boots last year.
Okay.
Dallas Mavericks.
Well, you talking about-
Everybody's 0-0 when the playoffs
The role
start,
players
though.
are playing better. They're deeper. You know what I mean? The Cavs got a great start on 5. After that, they fall off a cliff.
Everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs. Also, OBJ signed to the Ravens. I'm not happy about that because I thought he was either going to go to the Jets.
Who's
or the
going to throw him the
Giants.
ball? Who's throwing him the ball? Like,
Is Aaron Rodgers signed yet or
Who's
not?
throwing him the ball?
Did Aaron Rodgers sign yet or not?
He'll be out. He'll come in. He's coming.
That nigga's not coming. That concludes another episode of Say Less.
I'm nervous until the draft. All right. Anyway, this has been another episode of Say Less. You know what we always do at this time.
Yeah.
Stay free.
Okay.
Stay safe.
That's right.
And always say less.
See y'all next week.
Next time, people. Thank you. Oh, man. That was
Thanks, guys.